Hello everyone and welcome to the newsfeed at TCC Northeast Campus. My name is Jordan Coons and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Vicki Ansorge, who is the Vice President of Academic Affairs. Coming right up. Hello, Dr. Ansorge.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well.
Fantastic. Well, first, I want to have you introduce yourself. Just what is your name, your occupation, and kind of what you do here.
Sure, I'm Vicki Ansorge. I'm the Vice President for Academic Affairs at Northeast Campus. What do I do? I act as a facilitator to support student problems. I act as an advocate for faculty. Think of me as the Chief Academic Officer at this campus.
Fantastic. So surely that wasn't always the plan. Were you always wanting to be in that profession?
I was not. My first profession out of community college, I was a community college graduate, was as a licensed practical nurse. And I went back to school to get my bachelor's degree and took an English class and went, wow, this is what I've always loved more than anything else, and changed my trajectory and became an English major. Went on to graduate school at the recommendation of one of my faculty members who was also my mentor, and got a job out of my graduate program.
Fantastic. And so when was the moment you said you decided to officially jump into that line of work?
I after working as a nurse for several years, I took an English class, a literature class, and it just brought me back to what I really love, which is reading and literature and storytelling, whether it's through film or through the printed page. And I realized I was in the wrong major. At that point, I knew I didn't want to be a K-12 teacher, and I didn't think about being a college professor. It didn't enter my mind. I don't think it was even part of my reality. But a professor at the University of Wisconsin, where I was attending, said, you should consider being a faculty member, and that sent me down the trajectory of graduate school and changed my life. And I became an English professor. First an instructor, and then went through rank and tenure promotions until I became a full professor. And after receiving a full professorship and teaching at that level for several years, then I decided to take a foray into administration at the encouragement of my department. I was a department chair first, and then became a dean, and then a vice president, and have not really looked back.
Got you. So while you were an instructor, did you have your doctorate while you were an instructor, or did you get that while you were
I got it while I was an instructor. So I started with the master's degree, as many of our faculty do. Yeah. I have a master's in English and American literature.
American literature. So what drove you to get your doctorate? Was it just the want for knowledge?
Want for knowledge. I think that I truly am a lifelong learner. I'm always seeking out new information and new experiences, and I think it's who we are as educators. I think it's what drives a lot of students back to the classroom, even if they've been out of school for a while, because I think it's the human condition. We seek to know more. We seek to know different. We seek to know better. And I think that the most important thing that we do in education is help students understand how to find that information, how to seek new ideas, not what to think, but how to think.
Right. It's like you can help people get there, but you can't make them get there.
No, absolutely not. If students aren't invested in their education, they're probably not going to succeed. Or if they succeed, they're not necessarily going to take away what they should. I know this is not the question, but I think one of the most important things that I would like students to know is that we often look at classes as a hoop through which to jump. And for your education to really be meaningful, you need to be able to synthesize the different parts of it. So you might look at a English composition class as something that you must take because it's part of your core, but in fact it is information that you will use in every other class. and throughout your entire career, because learning how to communicate well in writing is an important skill for all of us, something that employers tell us repeatedly that they're looking for.
I got you. And then, so to kind of shift gears a little bit, so what does a day-to-day look like for you?
For me?
Yeah.
Vice presidents of academic affairs go to a lot of meetings. We have meetings on campus, we have meetings at district. Tarrant County College has a one college model, which means that we want students to have a same or at least a very similar experience at every campus. That means that the vice presidents of academic affairs meet together, and we meet all day, one day of the week, and frequently via Teams or email, text throughout the day to make decisions to make sure that students are having the same experience at all of the campuses. The presidents do something, very similar, of course. So we're making joint decisions. We're leading as a team. When I am working on campus, I'm working with, of course, the president as part of her team, and I'm working with my team, which is all of the deans and the director of ed partnerships and lifestyle and learning and community learning. They keep changing their name. Lost it for a second.
So fantastic. Surely this machine doesn't run as efficiently without you there, right?
The vice presidents, whether you look at the campus initiatives or the full college initiatives, the vice presidents work with the provost to make sure that all of the academic stuff of the institution are being kept in place, that we are reviewing policy to make changes that we need to, that we are upholding any legislative changes, that we are hearing student concerns and acting on them, that we are there to support both students and the faculty.
Of course, fantastic. And so with that in mind, how exactly does that look when you're taking those into consideration between the student wants and student needs to?
Mm-hmm. Well, and this sounds like the nerd that I actually am, because remember, I taught English. Policy has to guide us in everything, because one of the things that the Office of Academic Affairs ensures is that all students are treated equitably, that we are not going to make a decision for one student based on one set of criteria and another student another set of criteria, but rather that we're using policy and process as a way of ensuring that everyone's needs are met and that we follow due process.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so work aside, so tell us a little bit more about your personal, what are your hobbies? What do you see yourself doing out of?
As I said, I'm a nerd. I like to read. I love film. I love film from the golden era of American cinema and have watched many of them numerous times. I'm a foodie, so if I can find myself in a kitchen or in a restaurant with friends enjoying that is something that I really love. I like to garden. I love to travel, and there are many parts of the world I have yet to see, but I've seen a significant part of it, and definitely on my bucket list to see a few more.
I see.
Yeah.
And with your travels, what's been your favorite so far?
Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu was life-changing for me. It was. There's a concept called close history, which is like the time dissolves and you feel like you're part of something greater. And that's how I felt at Machu Picchu. It was amazing. Coming over the Gateway of the Sun and looking down at the city that was built millennia ago is one of the most astounding things I've ever done.
Wonderful. And so you said you're a foodie. What does the food look like down there?
In Peru? Yeah. Food's very good in Peru. Some of the specialties I had problems with, like they eat guinea pig and alpaca, and I had trouble crossing that line, so I stayed to other things. But that's because things that we see in our country as pets are not necessarily pets everywhere else in the world.
I guess that's fair and understandable.
Yeah.
Just really fast. One more quick question. Are there any more? Do you have any more projects that you can talk about that are happening to this facility?
I can't talk specifically about projects, but this facility, radio, TV, film, is always something that we advocate for in budgeting. And the budget is in the approval process, so we're always looking for opportunities to provide more equipment for the students to learn. And we do a pretty good job, I think.
I'd say so. I've enjoyed all the equipment that we have access to here.
Absolutely.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Ansorge. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for visiting and joining us today. Hope you all have a wonderful and fantastic day. Take care, everyone, and stay dry.